Let's switch back to the NFL, y'all.
Yup.
Justin Herbert, contract extension. The man got 7 years, no, 5 years, 262 million. I think 218 of it guaranteed. So 52
Mm,
million per year.
mm.
What are your thoughts? Do you think Justin Herbert should have got this contract extension? I start with you, JD.
Put me on the spot quick. So Justin Herbert is definitely the next generation of like quarterback talent. Like you know how we've had like Phillip Rivers, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, and those were like the quarterbacks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Matt Ryan's, all these guys. He's definitely the next era where we're gonna still be talking about him 10 years from now, saying, "Yeah, that's still the quarterback somewhere in this league, whether it's still for the Chargers or not." I don't know how many years did you say this contract was for?
It's 5 years, 262 million,
Okay,
218
so
some odd guaranteed.
he's definitely a good, very good quarterback. He makes a lot of good throws, and he still manages to make things happen with the fact that his starting two wide receivers can never stay healthy and stay on the field at the same time. I mean, I think you could count on one hand all the games that Keenan Allen and Mike Williams got to play together last
Yeah,
season, right?
yeah,
Like I think literally it's maybe five at the most that
yeah.
they got to play together at the same time. So for him to still make things happen and with those kind of injury issues, that's a big plus. I just don't see the guaranteed money every year being worth it though. Like there's still just something that kind of irks me about that amount because while he does great for compared to most quarterbacks in the league right now, he's still just not wowing me every fucking weekend.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mom.
Um, I'm not surprised with the contract extension. They got no choice. You know what I'm saying? Like he's their quarterback of the future. I've already stated plenty of times on this podcast that I think Justin Herbert's a little overrated as far as like the positioning that a lot of analysts have him in. They have him as like one of these elite. They put him in the same tier as like a Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes. I just don't think he's on that level yet. He hasn't really done anything.
He
He's
hasn't won at that level yet.
he hasn't won at that level. He kind of he's doing the same thing that he did in Oregon, man. Like they get his teams will have all this talent. They'll be rated high, ranked high, and then they'll disappoint you in the season. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like that. He's had some injuries along the way too. So I think he's in. I think he's a good quarterback. I don't think he's in that top tier. He has the talent. I don't see why there should be a reason why they don't compete with the Chiefs every year.
Yeah,
For if he's on that level, there should be no reason why they don't compete because he has talent around him. You got Eckler, you got Keenan Allen, you got Mike Williams. Your defense is legit. You got Bosa, Khalil Mack, you got Derwin James. You got talent on that squad. There's no reason why they shouldn't compete against any team at all.
I
But
agree.
they've had their injury bug jinx. I don't know what's going on with their medical staff. I don't know if they need a better medical staff or what it is. But Justin Herbert throws untimely interceptions where it hurts their team bad. He has inconsistencies. But overall, with the contract extension, they're gonna get paid, bro. These quarterbacks are gonna get they're gonna get paid, bro. The next quarterback, who's gonna be the next one? Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow's the
Joe
next one.
Burrow.
He's gonna
Yeah.
get maybe like 5 million more than what Herbert
Yeah.
did, and the next one, and so on and so on. So
Yeah. No, I agree with both of y'all. It's always he's a very good quarterback, but it's just always seen something missing from him.
yeah,
Yeah.
Um, I also last year I will pitch him some bell on this. I think his offensive coordinator last year. Now they got Kellen Moore this year, and I don't know how much better that's going to. Everybody clamoring and think Kellen Moore is like this offensive guru, and I think he's okay. He's cool, whatever.
it's cool. He ain't nothing crazy.
Yeah, and crazy, but he's probably going to be better than Joe Lombardi because I feel like Joe Lombardi, like first half, they come out like gangbusters. You know what I'm saying, scoring and all that, and then it's like defensive coordinators was make adjustments and figure out their scheme, and they don't throw the football. They didn't throw the football down the field. Everything was short behind the line of scrimmage, And so once you figure that out, it was like they couldn't move the ball down the field no more. So we'll see this year, if it changes, But I feel the same way about you that you guys feel about him. He's a good quarterback. Like anybody outside of the top tier who got the top tier quarterback, the Mahomes, the Burrows, the Josh Allens, whatever, they would want a Justin Herbert. Of course, Washington Commanders, they would love to have Justin Herbert right now.
For real. Yeah, they would. Yeah.
Teams that are a quarterback, maybe a quarterback or a few players away, they would want
one
Justin
good play
Herbert.
away from making things happen.
Yeah, they would want Justin Herbert, but he might be Phillip Rivers. He might be the Phillip Rivers of this era.
So, do y'all think they'll make the playoffs this year?
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Look, when we play them, it's not like we smoking the Chargers. It's always a close game.
100%. Yeah, they play tough.
It came down to a Travis Kelce, game-winning touchdown each time we played them.
It's never something out of the realm of possibility. Like they like Chris was just saying, like they'll play away sometimes from making it. I did expect more out of them this year than what we got. I was expecting a lot more competition in the AFC West to begin with, and it wasn't there overall. Derek Carr ended up getting shipped out after the season. Why? Because he didn't do what the Raiders expected him to do. Russell Wilson obviously was ass until they fired their offensive coordinator or head coach. Which one was it? Was it the head coach?
Head coach.
Yeah. Once they let him go, then you started seeing an improvement in Russell Wilson. Mahomes was obviously just leading the pack the whole way, and then again, Herbert didn't have a healthy wide receiving core the entire season, so that kind of hindered him a little bit to a certain extent.
And he had the rib injury too. So
yeah, he did.
Like I said, it's expectations on him now. We'll see. Like now, it's like, all right, you got your money, you got to show and prove.
There's been expectations on him for the last 2-3 years though.
No, but now, with that money now, it's like now it's real expectation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
and you got to remember, Justin Herbert was never expected to be the immediate starter either.
No, he wasn't.
Injuries. Because who was it? Taylor that they picked up in that free agency to be their starter when they drafted Herbert.
And they took him out.
And then in the preseason, and even in the preseason, they were like, "This guy's kind of ass compared to Herbert. Like, let's go ahead." Like, so I mean, just things change. I think for the changes that the team made, Herbert has done well acclimating to being the starter. When he went into that offseason saying, "Okay, cool, I'm gonna be the backup for a year and I'm gonna learn," and then all of a sudden, oh shit, by game 3, I'm the starter. Damn, like, you know what I mean? It just that changes things on someone's
I got it.
Shit like that.
That was so many years ago, though. We're talking about right now. Like at the end of the day,
this is going into year 4 now.
How many years have they been in title contention? That at the beginning of the season, every analysis has had them as one of the top 5 teams. Maybe not you, but I'm just talking about national media. I'm just talking about national media. They have had them being like one of the top 4 teams to make the Super Bowl every year. And they don't even get close.
Mark can attest to this. Every year they pick the Chargers to win the AFC West. Do they not?
Do.
Every year. No matter what the Chiefs do, every year they pick the Chargers to win it.
I don't know what sources you guys watch. I don't know. I actually watch football, so every year since Patrick Mahomes been drafted, and I guess that's because I wanted Patrick Mahomes to be drafted by the Niners. I was in love with the guy's ability. But every year, I'm always looking at it as Chiefs got that division.
No,
that's hands down. Like, there's no competition in that division right now.
No, and you're correct. But the eyes of national media is not the same as you, bro.
True.
No, they are out there saying, "Oh, the Chargers are winning the Super Bowl. The Chargers are beating the Chiefs. The Chargers are beating the Raiders. They're winning the AFC West. All that." And then they never even get they're below 500 every year. They're fighting to be 500 every year.
They lose to teams that they shouldn't be losing. They'll lose. Watch the season. If they play a team that's bad,
it'll be the same thing.
They're gonna lose a couple games to let them play the Cardinals. The Cardinals gonna beat them. Because they're gonna
be one of the like 3 or 4 wins the Cardinals get this year.
and they're gonna need that game to win the division or something like that, and that's gonna keep them from winning the division because they lose to teams like that. So,
and it just made me even more shocked why they kept Brandon Staley and then hired Sean Payton.
Yeah.
Sean Payton was the perfect head coach for Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
If Sean Payton was the head coach of the Chargers, I would have way more confidence in that team. I really would. I really would.
And how ironic would that have been that like the Chargers let go of what eventually became a Hall of Fame quarterback to the Saints, and then the Saints coach after retiring comes back and obviously going to be a Hall of Fame head coach to coach the Chargers, in which he got that quarterback from. So that'd have been kind of funny too.
It would have been a story, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just I don't take the Chargers serious, dog. They really don't nothing for me.
Don't nobody do.
Yeah,
no,
for real. They ain't even got a fan base.
No.
Yeah, what is that? They couldn't even stay in San Diego. Bastards.
Terrible. All right, couple of big injuries. Joe Burrows, Jalen Ramsey. Now, one is more significant than the others. Jalen Ramsey, he's going to be out till December with a meniscus tear. Coming into the season, he was one of the additions to that defense where I had looking at the dog. You know, everybody's looking at the dog. I know everybody has their gripes against Tua in his injury history. His injury history, but I did think that the Miami Dolphins had a chance in that division with that defense, and especially with Vic Fangio being their defensive coordinator. So losing Ramsey and they signed Eli Apple out of all people. What are your thoughts on the Ramsey injury?
Who you want, me or JD?
Go ahead, Mark. Go, Mark.
Oh, okay. Ramsey. Yeah, that one hurt. That one hurt. You went from Ramsey to Eli Apple is crazy, dog. Like Eli Apple about to get cooked all the time, bro. For Tua, I like Tua, man. He just has head injury problems, man. Hopefully, he has a really good year. You got Tyreek Hill and Waddle. As long as those 3 guys can stay healthy, they're gonna put up points, man. That offense is hard to stop. The Joe Burrow one, I think they got lucky on that one. I low-key thought that one was an Achilles, the way he kind of like limped up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So I think at this point, man, you ain't gonna see that man on the field until he gets his contract.
Exactly.
If he's smart. Gave him, which is smart. Like at the end of the day, what they're gonna do is they're gonna let him heal. During that healing process, they'll negotiate the contract. When he's ready to come back, he'll sign the contract. He'll be there for week 1. So I think the Bengals will be fine at the end of the day. I think it hurts the Dolphins more because I think their schedule in the beginning is pretty tough. I'm not sure who they play in the beginning, but I think they play. Don't they play? When they play y'all? When they play Chiefs? They play y'all middle of the year.
New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve. Oh, okay. So yeah, that's kind of my thoughts about it, honestly.
Yeah. As far as Joe Burrows go, like you said, man, he ain't playing until he get that money. So, and if he's smart, he'll wait to get that money because because his injury history is not great. You know, since he's came into the league, he had an ACL tear last year. He had the sports hernia. This year he has his leg injury. So he better get that money because you don't want another injury.
No.
Because if he's out for the season, the Cincinnati Bengals is cooked. You got Trevor Siemian back there. Like, it's bad. And John Browning, whoever that is.
Yeah, I think the Burrow injury is not a significant one, so I don't think that the Bengals are going to be hurting as much as the Dolphins are from losing Ramsey. Because Ramsey was ranked 9th in PFF rankings last year for Eli Apple, who was ranked 68th.
Yeah,
that's a big, significant drop off from what you were expecting to have on your defense. And don't get me wrong, like the Dolphins' defense last year was very opportunistic. So there were certain games where they were on fire and they were cooking. Some games where they dropped the ball and we don't know what the fuck they were thinking. Vic Fangio is probably going to fix a lot of that. So they'll probably be more consistent on defense this year. Even despite the fact of losing Ramsey for a significant amount of time. But, that is a big, significant loss for them. So I think that injury hurts more than the Joe Burrow injury, and Tua is garbage. And we've talked about that. You said I don't think Tua's that bad. No,
He ain't that bad.
he's trash.
Bro.
He's trash.
Not
He's
that
trash.
bad.
Oh,
He's
Let
not that
let
bad,
Waddle
bro.
or Hill go down. Let one or the other go down and see the significant drop off they'll have at QB also. I already explained that, man. Their speed that they have on that roster with Monster, with Waddle, with Hill, they have so much goddamn speed on that fucking team that it doesn't matter where you throw that ball. They have the juice to get to it and at least make a reception on that thing.
But when Tua was healthy last year, they were one of the top
Trash.
3 seeds in the goddamn in the
Trash.
league, though.
I agree.
They were killing, bro. They were killing.
It's because they had the speed to compensate for him being so
And
damn
I get
inaccurate.
That. I get that. He has the receivers to make him look good, but overall, he was delivering the ball to Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle were both on pace to have 2,000 yards when Tua was on the field, dog. The moment he was not on the field, their offense looked. They couldn't even score 10 points. They couldn't.
All right, riddle me this, Batman.
What's up?
Was it Tua delivering the ball or was it the receivers making plays?
It's a combination of both, brother. He has to throw the ball for them to make plays.
No, it's not.
It is, bro.
Stop it.
Come on, man.
Stop the
Why
cap.
do you hate Tua so much?
Because he's
Why?
garbage. The
Oh
guy
my
is
God.
garbage.
I don't think he's garbage. I think he's solid. I think he's solid.
Solid what? A solid lump of bricks?
You know who's garbage?
Solid quarterback.
You know who's garbage? Josh Johnson, the guy who was quarterbacking for y'all in the East.
Hey, look, I already
He
knew
was
that.
garbage.
I already knew that. We already talked about that. Why are you bringing up old stuff? As I'm bringing up old stuff. Yeah, no, Josh Johnson is a career fucking camper.
Baker Mayfield is garbage. He's trash. I'm sorry. He's trash.
I think Tua's gonna do better this year.
He alright,
He ain't.
He's got to get them injuries right.
He ain't.
They're gonna be right there in the thick of things.
They're gonna stay in the thick of things because, like you guys just stated, Vic Fangio is there now, and he's gonna shore up that defense. He's gonna make them a little bit better than what they were. So they're gonna go from being more of an opportunistic defense to a more disciplined defense. So they're gonna actually be able to read more. Like last year, they were like, you know, they showed when you see an opportunistic defense, you see a team that has players that they know what they're doing, but they're just not coached up to the level where they could do it consistently every single game, right? Vic Fangio is the one that's going to fix that. So that's how you're going to see a better defense, period. Even with the Jalen Ramsey injury, you're going to see a better defense because they're going to be more focused. They're going to pay attention more.
That pass rush is going to be better. He knows what he has. He knows what he has in Bradley Chubb because he coached him in Denver, so he already knows what he got in that. Christian Watkins is actually a pretty good defensive tackle in the middle, so he'll probably be a little bit better. And Xavier Howard, the corner, he's actually a really good corner.
He's solid. He's solid.
He's actually a really good corner. So they got some guys, definitely got some guys over there. It's just, like you said.
But yeah, Tua's still trash, though. That's my story, and I'm standing to it.
If Dolphins can get into that playoff contention by December and Jalen Ramsey can come back, healthy, then that'll be a huge addition to their team. So.
It definitely will. It definitely will, because especially later on in the years, when in the football season, when teams start to rush more, weather changes, things like that. I mean, you don't got to deal with that too much in Miami, but when you got those road games, when you're going somewhere cold, shit like that, and your players aren't used to it, you're gonna want your defense there, and you're gonna want your run game there.
Yeah, for sure. All right, JD. Let's talk about the division that you pay close attention to, because your Niners is in there.
Where do I begin? Where do you want me to start, man?
We can start with your team. We can start with the other team. Wherever you want to go with this, talk about the NFC West and what you feel, your overall feeling of the NFC West this coming season.
All right. Well, we kind of brushed on it when I had you guys in my King's Tavern here. We talked a little bit about the NFC Championship game. Do you want me to brush on that real quick, or are we good on that?
Yeah, go for it, man.
You go ahead, man.
So that was the elephant in the room. Yeah, the Niners lost 7-31, but if you take that out of the equation and you look deeper into the statistics of the game, if Brock Purdy didn't get hurt, they were going to beat the Eagles that game. That is my wholehearted belief. All right. I mean, Christian McCaffrey had 15 carries. He had 84 yards and a touchdown. That's 5.6 yards per carry. That's solid, right? Mm-hmm. Brock Purdy was 4 for 4 before he got hurt. Yeah. So even though he didn't have the yardage, he was showing that he was finding the open people
Mm-hmm.
Imagine an entire game of being able to find open people. Like it wasn't gonna end well for the Eagles if we had a passing option.
Yeah.
The total amount of yards that the Eagles even got in the game was 269 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. That's
Yeah.
defense. That's defense doing their job and holding their own, despite practically going 3 and out almost every drive, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, the Eagles hung on to the clock for 37 minutes, 26 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
That's a long time of possession. So,
Yeah.
obviously you're going to grant your team more opportunities. It's going to happen. But, yeah, second half alone, right? Second half alone, Niners punt, Niners punt. Eagles finally get a touchdown. Niners do 8 plays, turnover on downs. Eagles get a field goal. Niners fumble. And Eagles do 6 plays at the end of the game for 12 yards to kill the final 4 minutes and 5 seconds of the clock. Because they knew they weren't going to do much anyways after that, and they knew they already had the game sealed up, so why drag it out any further after that point? So, yeah, I'm a firm believer that if Brock Purdy and or any other quarterback other than Josh Johnson, who was worthy of being a starting quarterback in an NFC Championship game, was there, Niners would have won. What's y'all thoughts?
I agree. You know what I mean? I think the Niners last year, they got a little bit of bad luck, man, with that quarterback situation for sure. I think if Brock Purdy was healthy, I think they beat the Eagles and they go on to the Super Bowl, and I think they had a really good shot at beating the Chiefs. As far as for this year, I think there should be no reason why you guys don't win the division. To me, you know what I mean. I think y'all should get. I think the Seahawks can put up a good fight. You know what I mean. I know they're Witherspoon, the guy that they drafted. I know he's hurt right now, so I don't think he's even in training camp right now. So, and then I think the Rams they're not going to be good, dog. Like they got Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp. Overall, that team is just weak overall as far as like a roster construction. So, and then obviously the Cardinals, we already know what they're doing. So, man, honestly, bro, I feel like the regular season for y'all should just literally just be getting ready for the playoffs, dog. Just stay healthy, don't have no issues, man. Then y'all can make a run, bro. Because it's been a couple times, man. Y'all should have more. Y'all should have a couple of Super Bowls by now. If some luck might have changed. So.
What about you, Chris?
No, I agree. I think the only competition y'all got in that division is Seahawks. We'll see what Geno Smith looks like in year 2 in that offense. They did add some weapons over there, added some guys on defense. So they'll definitely be better. And they're getting Jamal Adams back. You know what I'm saying? JSN looks like he's killing it. I know it's training camp, but he looks like he's killing it right now. So, so they'll definitely be the only competition in your division. Rams, I think the Rams are going to be either. It's either going to be they're going to be a wild card team or they're going to be picking top 10 in the draft. That's how I look at the Rams. And the Cardinals are going to be the number 1 overall pick. So, it's y'all division to lose.
Yeah, so I don't know if there's ever been a team to shut out their division and go undefeated 2 years back to back, but I think that the 49ers are in line to be able to do that. I mean, you had Nick Bosa that had the 18.5 sacks. You had Hargrave in the offseason, and he had 11 sacks being at the defensive tackle position, which is monstrous to begin with. In fact, that was one of the only reasons that the Eagles' defense did as good as they did was they had that front four where all front four had double-digit sacks, basically. Right? So, I mean, they were solid up front, and that took a lot of pressure off of the middle of the field and the back end for them. Yeah, we lost some players. Like, we lost Samson Ibukum. That was 5 sacks right there, right? Omenahu, you guys got Omenahu over there at Kansas City now, right? That was 4.5. Huh?
I said thank you for that.
Yeah, I mean that's 4.5 sacks right there. So I'm curious to see like Drake Jackson if he's gonna take a step up, right? Because he ended up with 3 sacks last year in 5 games. He got 3 sacks.
Yeah.
And he also had 8 tackles, 6 solo tackles, 1 pass defense. So he was doing good. And then out of nowhere, they just stopped using him. So I'm kind of curious to see why that is. Hopefully this year, whatever it was, he fixes it. He steps up and he does his thing.
Right.
We added Clelin Ferrell from the Raiders.
Good luck with
You know, hopefully, like I stated when you guys were on my show, man. Hopefully, we do what we've been doing, and that's taking some of these people that didn't pan out as well as teams thought and turn them into something decent.
Yeah.
I mean, if he could turn into a favorable, at least a serviceable rotational player, you know what I mean? Then that's always a plus, right? We did lose some people. We lost Emmanuel Mosley. We lost Jimmy Ward. We lost Tavarius Moore, right? All to different teams. Ward went to the Texans. Mosley went to the Lions, and Moore went to the Packers.
Yeah.
That's 3 like known names in our backfield that are gone now, right? So we'll see how that pans out. We also lost Azeez Al-Shaair to the Titans, and that was like the 3rd linebacker to our core to Greenlaw and Warner that we were like, oh, okay, cool. That's a good 3rd linebacker to have out there. We don't have him anymore, so we're gonna have to wait and see how that pans out as well. But I still think that the Niners have a very good shot at repeating and being still one of the best defenses and shutting out the divisions back-to-back years.
Yeah, for sure. Like, also, you guys lost, D'Amico Ryans, you know what I mean? So, but I think Steve Wilkes would do a really good job, man, with the defense, man. I think he's a great defensive mind. But I think if y'all would have still had D'Amico Ryans, I low-key think y'all could have another great year, defense. I think y'all still be great. But as you said, I think your weakest part of your defense right now is probably the cornerback play. I would assume, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So we got to see how that looks, you know what I mean? Especially with against the Seahawks with that wide receiving core of those 3 guys. I think that would be very interesting. So I think if Geno Smith can have a year like they did last year, I think they can definitely compete with y'all. But I really don't see how y'all don't win this division, bro. If y'all don't win this division, man, it'll be a shot for me.
My thing with Geno Smith is that he's been in the league for how long now? And it's not like he's improved drastically, right? He's only had – so Geno Smith has only had one other season where he's gotten over 2,500 yards. That was 2014 when his sophomore year, right? This is I think the most he's ever been sacked in a season. At 44 times or something like that this year. Let me see here. 46 times. 46 times. He was tied with 3rd with Kirk Cousins. And you guys remember we were talking about the Netflix show Quarterbacks and how bad he was hurting. Imagine Geno Smith being around the same age, hurting just as much.
Yeah.
Like, he's been in the league too long, man. He's 32 years old already, and he had the most career sacks at his 32-year age.
Yeah, I think with last year though, I think those were probably the 2 best receivers he's had in his whole
definitely. Oh yeah, and you stated it.
And then when you add JSN,
yes,
he got some guys and the running game too. So I think if they can shore up the offensive line, I don't remember if they drafted anybody for the offensive line or if they signed anybody. So I'm not really sure on that. But I think Geno Smith has the potentials to have the same year that he had last year.
I'm gonna pause you on the running game though.
Running game ain't bad. Kenneth Walker isn't bad.
How healthy could Kenneth Walker stay? Because he has not been able to. They haven't had a run game where they've been able to sustain it. That's the problem. They've always gotten good running backs, but people that can't stay healthy. So that's always kind of hindered them as well. You know what I mean?
No, for sure. You're right. Like, I'm not disagreeing with you at all with that point. But let's just say if he does stay healthy, if you can get a healthy Kenneth Walker to play all 17 games, to go along with those 3. That's an elite offense right there. I think, me personally, I really do think it's an elite offense.
That's a lot of ifs though, and they are definitely. I will give you that they are definitely the most competition that the 49ers have in their division. Right, the Rams, the way the Rams drafted, they've set themselves up for future success. Because you got to think the 3 main names when you think about the Rams right now is Stafford, right? Aaron Donald, and Cooper Kupp. All of them are like nearing their mid-30s, if not already in their mid-30s.
I can see all 3 of them. I can see all 3 of them getting traded by next year. I really do.
I mean, but that's what I'm saying. Like, and when you look at all the people they drafted, because they got a good amount of draft picks, but none of them wow you. They're all like 2 to 3 year players before you start seeing them actually take off. So I think their future looks bright. But as far as trying to compete right now, there's a very, very large amount of question marks that they leave on the table with some of their draft picks. The Seahawks, just to backtrack a little bit, along with them getting JSN in the draft, they also picked up from the Steelers Devin Bush at linebacker, which was a big plus. They brought back Bobby Wagner, who had his hiatus with the Rams, and now is back home, right? So that's a big morale boost, if nothing else. And if nothing else, their run defense is going to be a lot better because that's one of the parts that the Seahawks were lacking was their run defense. They were good, like, in the backfield.
Yeah.
So, Devon Witherspoon, you said Devon Witherspoon was already hurt.
Yeah, he's hurt right now, yeah.
That's going to suck a little bit because they got somebody last year and they were, like, excited about him and he played well. So we'll see how that pans out.
Then they got Derek Hall. He was a good pass rusher at Auburn. So that would bring some pass rush to them. So
they didn't get no O-line. They didn't draft no O-lineman.
They did. They got a guard in the 4th round, and a center in the 5th round. So we'll see if they play. You know what I'm saying? They got running back in the 2nd round, so it might be insurance policy for Kenneth Walker.
Yeah.
And then they also re-signed Phil Haynes. Evan Brown was somebody that they added. And then, that Oluwamati, how this name is very confusing. It's Olusegun Awulamati. I think that's how you say it. I probably butchered the shit out of it, but that was a center that they drafted also.
Okay.
And, and then you were saying, Anthony Bradford was the other guy they got in round 4 from LSU. So, I mean, their pass defense was ranked 28th last year. With some of the additions that they made on defense, that should go up, right? Their total defensive rank was like 26th overall last year. So they definitely have room for improvement. I think, like I said, with some of the additions that they made on the free agency and with the draft, they're definitely going to improve on that end and be, like I said, the number 1 competition for the 49ers this year.
If Devin Witherspoon and Tyreek Woolen can be healthy anytime this season, they could be one of the top tier corners duels that you guys could look out for. Because Tyreek Woolen is a beast. He was a 4th round pick. The dude ran like a 4.3, and he's like 6'3". He's like fast as shit. I remember because I remember when we played the Seahawks, and our receiver Watson had him smoked. He ran right past him. He caught right up to him. Almost picked the ball, so dude is a beast. For sure. But no, I think it's y'all division to lose, man.
It definitely is, and I know we didn't really talk about them that much, but I guess we gotta bring up the Cardinals a little bit.
Do we have
and
to?
You want to talk about people just living at the cellar? That's the Cardinals right now. I mean, the only good draft pick that they got was that Paris Johnson Jr. He was a 6th overall pick out of Ohio State, the offensive lineman. Yeah. Very, very rarely in a draft do you see an offensive lineman that when you draft them, they can immediately become a foundational cornerstone to an O-line. Mm-hmm. And if this guy pans out, he could be just that at left tackle for the Cardinals. Mm-hmm. Because he could be the next Trent Williams or next, great freaking left tackle that a team has. He could be that guy if he pans out. Because that dude is solid, just pancaking everything.
I think the Cardinals honestly are at a perfect position. If they play their cards right this year, they could have 2 of the top 3 picks coming into next year. They could. They potentially could. They could get the number 1 overall pick, and they could get the number 3 pick, and then they could get Caleb Williams, Marvin Harrison Jr., then trade Kyle Murray for another 1st-round pick. So they're actually in a good position, honestly.
I don't see them trading Murray though, man. That's the sad part. I think they buried themselves, and it's going to be hard.
If you draft Caleb Williams, you're trading Kyle Murray, dog.
But this is the thing.
But listen, first of all, this new staff does have no ties to Kyler Murray
except that contract. except that guaranteed money.
You put his ass on ice this year. You put him on IR, and you don't play.
Somebody will trade for Kyle Murray, dog.
All right.
Plenty of teams I'll trade for Kyle Murray.
So I had a feeling. I had a feeling that you guys would bring up Kyler Murray. So last year he signed an extension, $230.5 million. It's $160 million of that is guaranteed, right? His cap hit, if they cut him this year coming up, will only be $16 million. But the year after that, 2024, it jumps up to 51.8. Mm-hmm. Then it jumps. Then it's 45.6. Then it jumps back up to 55.5.
Yeah.
Then 43.5. Then 46.3. What I'm saying is they've invested too much capital to just trade him. It's gonna take a miracle season from Murray for them to say, okay, now it's when his value is at its highest. Let's fucking dump him and get rid of this contract. He needs to have a phenomenal year. And the only way that's going to happen is if Call of Duty stops doing double XP weekends.
Caleb Williams is already projected to be the next Patrick Mahomes. They got him rated in the same tier as Andrew Luck. Like, bro, if you have a chance to get Caleb Williams and Marvin Harrison Jr., then you get two top-tier talents at rookie deals, then you can do anything you want with the rest of that squad. There are going to be so many teams that want Kyle Murray. Your team could use Kyle Murray. The Rams could trade for Kyle Murray. You can get this. You can get, if Kenny Pickett doesn't work out, you can get the Steelers. You can get the Cowboys. You can get a slew of teams interested in Kyle Murray. He has a knee injury. Knee injuries they're pretty much like they'll come back. He'll be okay. There's nothing to change.
It's not just the injuries, though, that worry people about Kyler Murray. It is the dedication. When you create a contract for somebody and you say in that contract, hey, you have to have X amount of study hours, that lets you know that somebody is not showing the proper amount of dedication on their own.
If he goes to Mike Tomlin, that
ain't happening. That ain't happening. Look at the regime that he was under. He was under, what was his name? What was the coach's name last year?
Cliff Kingsbury or whatever.
Kingsbury.
Right?
Who shouldn't even been a head coach.
Should have been a head coach. You already got reports saying that their culture has changed, and a lot of players are going through this whole culture shock because the guy they hired now doesn't do anything like what Cliff Kingsbury does. So as Chris said, they're not married to Kyle Murray, and then there will be a team that'll be like, look, we can put Kyle Murray under our foundation, and we can get him straight. He's still a young quarterback. He still potentially could be great. The knee injury, yeah, it sucks, but overall, with the way medicine is nowadays, ACLs, MCLs, they'll be fine. He'll be okay. You know what I mean? He can be the player that he once was. You're not going to pass up Caleb Williams. You're not. No one's passing up Caleb Williams this year, dog.
I'm not denying what you're saying. It makes sense. I'm just saying financially, I think it's going to be a little more difficult than you're making it out to believe for a team to be able to take. Because you got to remember, the other team also has have to have the cap space to take on that contract.
Agree, but look at the deals they're getting now. His deal looks great compared to the rest of these contracts. By the time he gets traded next year, that contract is going to be looking lovely, dog. It's going to be looking great. So
his team might go get Kyler Murray.
For real.
Raiders might be like, damn, this Jimmy Garoppolo shit didn't work the fuck out. Yeah. Who would have known? Aside from the Niners.
We could potentially get Kyle Murray. You know what I mean? If you don't get in the Caleb Williams sweepstakes. So I think the market for Caleb Murray will be great. Yeah, and then if you could potentially get a first round, maybe two, or a first round in the second, oh man, you'll jump over that. You'll jump all over that. Especially for next year's draft, since it's so top heavy. Mm-hmm. Oh my God. Imagine what you possibly could get.
Shit, the Cardinals can fuck around, and I ain't trying to dish you like that, Mom. But let's just say the Raiders will get the 5th pick. Yeah, the Cardinals can fuck around and get Caleb Williams, Marvin Harrison Jr., and Bowers.
They could, or get the best defensive end, defensive tackle, cornerback, or offensive lineman. They can literally do something that the draft has never seen. If that happens, bro, the Cardinals in the next 3 years will be one of the top tier teams going into the league.
Yeah, I agree. Depending on this coach, but I agree.
Like, who was it this year that had the number 2 and number 3 draft pick? Was it the Jets?
No, it was the
who
Bears.
was that this year?
Bears? No, was it the Bears?
Let me see.
It was the Texans.
Maybe it was the Texans. Yeah,
because they got C.J. Stroud and Will Anderson. That's what it was.
And they say they're both killing it right
They
now.
both killing it, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, if Cardinals could pull that off, then finesse a good deal for Murray because they definitely can't just cut him. It's way too much
they're not
invested
cutting
to
him.
just cut him.
No.
They have to find a trade partner. It has to be somebody who has the cap space and need for the position and offense that fits.
There's one thing in the NFL, bro. There's always one team that will be desperate.
Yeah, except for running backs, apparently.
Nah, well, with a quarterback is different. So I'll take him.
Yeah, correct.
They'll
Right.
do anything for one of those.
Yeah,
All
but
right. Go ahead.
no, I was just gonna just reiterate that the Cardinals are gonna be ass this year. There's no hope for them. Our biggest, and then in a couple years will be the Rams, but our Niners' biggest threat this year is gonna be the Seahawks.
Yeah, for sure. All right, man. Let's do what we do best, Maul. Top 5 list, baby.
Ooh, top five.
Top 5 receiving cores currently in the league right now. I'm gonna start with you, JD, because you are a guest. So we want to hear your list first.
Ooh, you so kind. I'm gonna start off with the Bengals as number 1.
Okay.
And I mean, if you think about it, they got Chase, they got Higgins, they got Boyd. All 3 of them are 2 of them did get 1,000 yards. Boyd was about 218 yards or some shit like that, shy of getting it himself.
Right.
Or 40 some yards, I don't know, something like that. He was very capable of getting there as well. Obviously, and I know I was just dogging the shit out of fucking Tua, but Dolphins. Again, when you got Hill and you got Waddle with that speed, that duo right there alone is solid. They're gonna make shit happen. We were just talking about how Seahawks are gonna be the biggest competition for the Niners, and while I don't think Geno Smith is a good quarterback, because historically he hasn't been, he's only had one really solid year, which was this last year.
Right.
With that addition of JSN to Lockett and fucking Metcalf, man, that is a scary trio if JSN is balling out like they're saying he is. So that's gonna be a tough trio to top. So that's number 3. Number 4, I know a lot of people, they hate on Dak Prescott, man, but when you got Lamb, Gallup, and Cooks, and I know Cooks is a little older now, he's slowed down a little bit, but that's still a scary trio as well, right? And then for the 5th one on there, I got Ma. I got your Raiders, dog.
Oh, wow.
I got Adams. Okay. When Adams is still tearing it up the way he did, right? You got Renfro, who could probably bounce back. I'm pretty sure he's going to bounce back, right? Yeah. And then you added Jacoby Myers in this offseason. That's a scary trio too, man.
Yeah.
Because Jacoby Myers finally stepped into his own last year and showed, hey, I could be a good wide receiver.
Yeah.
And then, for the honorable mentions, Chris, I got your team and my team because, your team hasn't had 1,000-yard wide receiver since Tyreek Hill left in 2018. But there's so many options that anybody could be a fucking weapon except for Kadarius Toney. And then, my Niners because you got everybody that could be a receiving option on that motherfucker as well. You finally had Ayuk, who got 1,000 yards last year. He's looking like he's going to get more this year with all the reports out of training camp. And then you got Debo, who's obviously going to bounce back. He's not going to have back-to-back bad seasons like last. And last year, statistically, yardage-wise, wasn't even horrible. It was just he didn't get a lot of reps. Too many mouths to feed now. And then McCaffrey out of the backfield and shit. Like that's scary. They got scary options on that team. Yeah. So that's my 5: Bengals, Dolphins, Seahawks, Cowboys, Raiders. And then if the Vikings had another receiver that I could trust more than 1 year, because I know they had KJ Osborne kind of tear it up with them. I guess they're an honorable mention. You add anybody with Justin Jefferson, and that's going to be a solid fucking duel. Obviously, Thielen's not going to be that guy. So,
Go
ahead, Mom.
Okay. So my number 1 is the Bengals. I think that's easy. Chase, Higgins, all those guys. I think that's easy. Number 2, Dolphins. Me and JD's list at the beginning are pretty much the same. Hill, Waddle. I think that combination is probably one of the most talented, as far as speed and all that. Don't worry, your Chiefs are not close to being on my list.
It's all right. It's okay, baby.
They're not close to being on my list. They're definitely not an honorable mention. I like Kelsey, but that's about it. Number 3. This is for you, JD. I got the Niners at number 3. I think Debo and Ayuk are really, really great. I think Ayuk is a great receiver. Debo, as you said, you can put Christian McCaffrey in the receiving slot. You got George Kittle. That is a dangerous group of receivers. Number 4, I have the Eagles with Brown and Smith. I think they've proven that they are really, really great as far as like what they did. I don't see any slip off with them. I think Jalen Hurts is going to get better, so I think they're going to get better. And number 5, I have the Seahawks. I think that crew is ridiculous. Adding JSN is great. I have some honorable mentions. I have the Jags. I think the Jags, I was kind of iffy. I really wanted to put the Jags in there. I think with Calvin Ridley coming back, I think Calvin Ridley is amazing. So with that squad, I think they'll be great. The Commanders, I love McLaurin. I love Dawson. I think those guys are great. But their quarterback situation is a little iffy. They're saying Sam Howell looks pretty decent. They say I've seen a couple throws. I get his training camp, but he does look pretty good. I think my Raiders can be up there as well. And then another one is the Vikings. I got to see how Addison looks. I really do. And then I would say the Lions too, but they're having so many problems over there. I do not know if your boy Jameson Williams is tripping. So that is my list.
I'm starting my honorable mentions. You guys, I'm gonna put the Chargers, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, and what's his name, Quentin Johnson. If they stay healthy, that's gonna be a fucking basketball team over there. Mm-hmm. All of them can go up and get it. You said the Commanders. I like the Commanders. Johnson, McLaurin, Curtis Samuel. They got a nice little squad. Jacksonville, Ridley. What's his name? Zay Jones.
Zay Flowers.
Zay Jones.
Zay Jones.
And what's the dude's name? Christian Kirk.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say the Ravens.
Oh yeah, Ravens.
Yeah. OBJ.
Zay
Flowers. Rashad Bateman. Watch out. And you could add Mark Andrews in that too. Watch out for them. Vikings. You got Jefferson. I think Jordan Addison is going to be a good addition to them. I got your Raiders. I think your Raiders are in the honorable mention. Now, my top 5. I'm going to start with 5. I'm going to go with Seahawks at number 5. You know what I'm saying? DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, who I think is underrated. Yeah, JSN in there. He's going to be working in the slot. I think they're going to be formidable. I got the 49ers at number 4 with Ayuk, Samuels, Brandon Jennings. I think that's a nice little trio. The Eagles, I got, with A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Quez Watkins. That's a nice little trio. Mm-hmm. The Dolphins, Tyreek Hill, Waddle. Enough has to be said from them. And the Bengals, we already know about them. So yeah, that's my school. That's my list.
Everybody seems legit.
So it looks like unanimously we all picked Bengals 1, Dolphins 2.
Yeah,
all 3. We all agreed Seahawks should be on the list. You guys both put Niners on it. I just put us as an honorable mention. But we all agree that that's a good receiving core right there. And then Chris, you put Raiders as an honorable mention. I had them on my list. And then you guys both agreed with the Eagles, which, the Eagles do have a good duel. Mm-hmm. Maul, you mentioned Commanders.
Yeah.
And I do agree that they got great receivers right now, but it is questionable at quarterback. I got to see something more before I add them to my kind of list. That goes with the Jaguars. They signed Christian Kirk the year before. Mm-hmm. He didn't really do that much.
Yeah.
I know that Trevor Lawrence started heating up at the end of last year, and they were a game out from being able to get into the playoffs.
Yeah.
So with the addition of Ridley, I would have put them on my list, but I have to see something from Ridley returning from injury first because he's been out a while.
No, I get it. I just think Calvin Ridley is more of a true number 1 receiver, and Kirk can be a true number 2. Like they had Kirk as a true number 1. Like I think in the beginning of the part of the year he did pretty good, but then he kind of slowed off a little bit. I think he had an injury or something. But I think when you add Calvin Ridley to the mix, I think it just puts everybody in their proper place, and then I think everybody will get booming off that.
Yeah, and then Chris, you mentioned Ravens, and they added OBJ, man, but statistically his numbers have declined.
It's not
And
just
it
him.
could be because quarterback play. Because when he was with the Rams and he got to play when Allen Robinson got hurt that year when they got to the Super Bowl and won it, yeah, he did good then. But I don't know. There's
He's
just
gonna be the MVP
something.
of the Super Bowl if he didn't get hurt.
I don't know. There's something about
It's Zay Flowers.
their
I really
offense.
think it's Zay Flowers.
I
Honestly,
think it's more so Zay Flowers.
It's more Zay Flowers.
Because that's what I wanted my Chiefs to go get.
Yeah, but see, then again, that's still an unproven commodity, right?
No, you're right.
You still gotta see how he
That's
translates to the NFL level. So that's why I wasn't gonna put them in there. But yes, Mark Andrews is solid at tight end. Obviously, he's been up top 5 tight end for the past 10 years now. So I'll give you that.
So and with Christian Kirk, he had 84 yards and 1,100 yards. So I mean, he's good.
Yeah. No, he did good.
It just shows you. It just honestly shows you how deep the wide receiving cores are around the league, bro. You know what I mean? Some of them are just ridiculous. Like I said, you got Jefferson, Addison. We got to see how Addison goes, but anything with Jefferson is going to be great. You know,
I did mention that. He's not on my list though. Like,
let's say Treylon Burks actually proves that he can actually be a real receiver. You add him with Hopkins, that's going to be dangerous. You know what I mean? If I get it, Michael Thomas has been hurt the last couple of years, but he was a top end receiver. If he can get back to form with Chris Olave, with Derek Carr, I think that could be good too. You got Sutton and Judy. I think Sutton and Judy, even though they did just lose Patrick and Hamler, you know what I mean, to some injuries and stuff like that. So, they could be good too. My Raiders, it's just a slew of talent, man, all around with the receiver. Cowboys, even with Lamb and Cooks, man, you know what I mean? It's just talent all across the board.
Yeah. I mean, even the Texans, you know what I'm saying? Tank Dell, John Mechie, Nico Johnson, like they're nice little.
Even like I know I'm talking mess about your Chiefs, but even I've been hearing great things about Justin Ross and those guys too. You know what I mean? Sky Moore, I think Sky Moore could have a good year too.
Sky Moore, Rasheed Rice, our rookie that we've been showing up. Yeah, no. Look, I'm not sitting up here bumping my chest about our receiving core. We young as shit.
Yeah, you mentioned Michael Thomas. I think his better days are behind him finally at this point, man.
They probably are.
He hasn't had close to 40 catches since 2019.
Yeah. No, I get it. I think with Chris Olave being your number one, if you put Michael Thomas at your 2, you don't know how that could make him look even better than what you guys may think he may. Don't get me wrong. Derek Carr he's a good quarterback, man. I know he has his ups and downs and stuff like that, but he can get you the rock when he is in his rhythm. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
So if Michael Thomas can have a full healthy year with Chris Olave, I think he could put some decent numbers. I could see him putting up maybe like 800-900 yards with maybe like 6 or 7 TDs. I could see something like that, honestly.
Yeah.
Now, can I interject the topic?
Go ahead.
Because when you first texted me earlier, I thought you were talking about just top 5 wide receivers in general.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of curious to hear like who you guys have as your top wide receivers, just standalone top 5 wide receivers, and why.
I think that's easy. Who want to go first? I can go do it.
Go ahead.
Shoot.
Number 1, Justin Jefferson. Number 1 is Justin Jefferson. I think he's number 1. Number 2, I would have Devontae Adams. I think Devontae will be up there. 3, Cooper Kupp. Then Jamal Chase. And then I would probably say No, I take that back.
You took Cooper Kupp off that motherfucker?
I got Justin Jefferson 1. I got Tyreek Hill 2. I got Devontae Adams 3. Cooper Kupp is 4. No, Cooper Kupp is top 5. He's legit. And then I'll have Jamar Chase 5.
All right. Well, what about you, Chris?
I'm still working on mine. Go ahead.
All right. So I agree with your first 3. Mm-hmm. Right. And in that order, I had Justin Jefferson, sorry. Because obviously, 1,809 receiving yards. Phenomenal. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Tyreek Hill was right behind him with 1,710 yards.
Yeah.
Devontae Adams. So Devontae Adams had 1,516 yards. 100 receptions, and led the NFL with touchdowns with 14.
Yeah.
So that's why I had him at number 3. And now keep in mind when I tell you this list, it's not just statistical things that these guys led at. It was kind of like looking for a clutch player in a basketball game to take that final shot, right? It's players to me that make my top 5 are players that when you need that catch, when you need that play done, they're the ones that go out and get it done for you.
Okay.
So with that being said, number 4 on my list was Stephon Diggs.
Okay.
Right? He still had 108 catches. He had 1,429 yards and 11 touchdowns. The guy was solid. Okay. Absolutely solid. And then number 5, I know you guys are going to clown me a little bit for number 5, but even though it was a down year for him, I put Deebo Samuel because he was still like, yeah, he didn't have the yardage that he had the year before, but when you put it in perspective and when you needed him to make a play, that guy made a play, right? He only had 56 catches all year.
Yeah.
That led to only 632 yards. That's still 11 yards per catch. Which means every time you threw the ball to him, you were at least guaranteed a first down and kept the chains going, right?
Yeah.
For rushing, he led all wide receivers in rushing yards back-to-back years now. He only had 232 rushing yards, but if you put that in perspective, on 42 carries, that's still 5.5 yards per carry, which means every 2 times you hand the rock off to him, which you don't have to because you got Christian McCaffrey now, right? You were getting a first down. So as far as like top 5, to me, it's more like the clutch 5. Like those are clutch 5 players that whenever you get the ball to them, they're going to make something happen for you. And so that's what my list was consisted of.
Okay. Go ahead, Chris. I'm gonna ask a question now.
I'm gonna go. It's pretty much the same. Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams, Jamar Chase, Stephon Diggs.
Okay.
Honorable mention: AJ Brown, Deebo Samuel, and Cooper Kupp.
So why didn't y'all have Cooper Kupp in top
5? I think don't get it twisted. I think he's a really, really good receiver, a number 1 wide receiver. I just gotta. He's only had like one superb great year, whereas those dudes have had numerous great years.
I think the problem with Cooper Kupp is that he's had some injuries, but anytime he's got on that field, bro, he's giving you 15 catches at least. Even in the Super Bowl, he was pretty much the main reason why they won the Super Bowl.
No, I agree.
You know what I mean? So
even
before he got hurt this year, man, he was putting up crazy numbers again. You know what I mean? I don't see how you don't have him at top 5 for receiver.
I mean,
he's the baddest white boy on the outside.
I'm not mad at you putting it in. I'm not mad at you putting him in his top 5. I just think that these 5 guys are better than him. Okay. I would take these 5 guys over him.
Okay.
And if I didn't have Deebo Samuel at number 5, it was going to be Jamar Chase also, because again, he's that kind of guy where when you need a catch, he's going to get you the catch. The reason why I don't have Cooper Kupp on there, though, to answer your question, he's the only guy that is on your list that didn't play double-digit games. He played 9 games. Okay, he was targeted 98 times. He only caught 75 of them, so it's his lowest catch rate in God knows how long, right? He didn't break 1,000 yards. He only had 6 touchdowns. The average per his yardage was still up there. It was 10.8 for average per catch, which is still, again, like I was trying to justify for Deebo Samuel being number 5 on my list, right? Yeah. Was you're still moving the chains every time he catches the ball. But he's one-dimensional. He's not running like Deebo Samuel is also doing.
But here's my thing with you guys. He is one-dimensional. He's a receiver. He needs to be a receiver. Yes. My thing is, like, the rest of those guys have 2 or 3 guys that help them become better what they are. I'm not saying they're not great receivers, but Jamar Chase, you're not getting double team, brother. You got T. Higgins and Boyd on your outside. That's deterring the defenses from not playing double coverage. Cooper Kupp is getting double, triple team every single time and still putting up great numbers. Deebo has Ayuk. AJ Brown has Devontae Smith. Like, look at, like, it's kind of like the same number as Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson, he didn't really have a great side piece to him last year. Like, yeah, Adam Thielen was okay. Like, he wasn't the same Adam Thielen as old, but it was mainly just Justin Jefferson to the same degree as Cooper Kupp. That's why I have him so high, me personally, because it's like he doesn't have that side help that a lot of these guys do have. Not to diminish what they are. I think Jamar Chase is a hell of a receiver. I think Deebo is a hell of a receiver. But when you have that kind of like Batman and Robin type of duo where no one can double team. You can't have a safety over. You can't do none of that, man. It kind of helps those guys with their numbers. I'm just saying, like if you have a Jamar Chase, because me personally, I love Jamar Chase, but I don't think he's a better route runner than Cooper Kupp. He's not. You know what I mean? Stephon Diggs is not a better route runner than Cooper Kupp. That's why he can get open with double and triple covers because he has a route tree. You know what I mean? That also puts me up there with him being top 5.
But I can make the same argument for Stephon Diggs. I mean, he doesn't have a real number 2. He has Gabriel Davis, who's a one-dimensional wide receiver. So
absolutely, but there have been games where Stephon Diggs didn't show up.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
You're right.
Like during that whole year with the Rams when they won that Super Bowl, Cooper Kupp was literally giving you 15 catches every single game. He was putting up Madden numbers, dog. Even on the pace before his injury, he was putting up crazy numbers too.
Yeah, he had in 2021 Cooper Kupp had 145 receptions for 1,947 yards and 16 touchdowns. It was ungodly numbers that he did not touch any other time in his career, and it's actually only the second time that he's even gotten 1,000 receiving yards in a season. 2019, he had 1,161 receiving yards. Mm-hmm. Other than that, he's never broken 1,000 yards. He's only had the 2 seasons that he's gotten double-digit touchdowns. And because of the fact that he's only really blown up and been that guy for 2 years out of his entire career from 2017 to 2022 is why I don't have him in my top 5.
It's a consistency thing with me. It's just and it's a consistency thing, and it's just these guys have done it more times than not than him.
And keep in mind the year that he got in 2021 when they got to the Super Bowl and he had all those yards, he was targeted 191 times.
Because
that is
no
fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, but see, that makes him even greater.
They still had Tyler Higbee. Think about it. They still had Tyler Higbee. They still had Allen Robinson. Allen Robinson was there for how long? No, Allen Robinson. Hey, Allen Robinson was killing it that year until he got hurt.
Allen Robinson is trash. The same way you feel about Tua, Allen Robinson is hot ass. Don't give me fucking Allen Robinson, dog. Get the fuck out of here, dog. Don't give me that bullshit, bro. Give me some better names than that shit, bro. I hear what y'all saying. I gotta agree with this.
And he had OBJ at the end of that year before OBJ got hurt. Also.
But OBJ didn't get popping off until the playoff time
because they didn't need him because Allen Robinson was doing his fucking thing.
Allen Robinson didn't do nothing that year, bro.
Yes, he was. In fact, I even had Allen Robinson in fantasy football. He was the number 12 fantasy scoring wide receiver until he got hurt.
Nah, bro.
And that was with Cooper Kupp still tearing it up, and he was still managing to be the number 12 guy on fantasy points. So no, he was doing enough. He was doing enough, baby.
No disrespect to the guys. There's too many talented guys on here. You know, we can all disagree. I just personally think Cooper Kupp should be.
But yeah, I
don't think Allen Robinson was on the team that year. He didn't join the Rams until
he joined the Rams till last year.
Yeah, he wasn't even on the squad last
year. He wasn't on the Rams last year.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, he was.
Yes, he was. That was the only year he got.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not talking about Allen Robinson. My bad. I've named the wrong fucking receiver. Who's the one that left the Rams and then went to the Titans and didn't do shit with the Titans?
Oh, Robert Woods.
Woods. Sorry, Robert Woods. My bad. Robert Woods was the one that was tearing it up.
He was cool.
My mistake.
He was cool. Yeah, he was cool. I'll give you that. He was cool.
So, yeah, he had Robert Woods, and then when Robert Woods went down, he had OBJ.
Yeah.
And so he was, he wasn't the only guy. They were just throwing a lot that year. They barely ran.
We can also go back to the quarterback play during those times. They didn't have Matthew Stafford in those years, too. Yeah. So the moment he got a quarterback, he started booming off. It goes with all receivers, man. All receivers need their quarterbacks to put up numbers. It's no different from Justin Jefferson to Tyreek Hill. You give Tyreek Hill fucking Josh Johnson, he ain't putting up 2,000 yards. He's not.
I mean, you got a point with that. You got a point with that.
So, yeah, like I said, nothing disrespect to no guys. Like I said, these guys are all great at what they do. You know what I mean? No one's mad at no one's list. I was just curious. I was just asking the question. That's all.
Yeah, no, it's a good question. It's a good question. It's just 6 years in the league, he's only had 2 that he's gotten 1,000.
Because he's white. No. I'm just playing.
But just 6 years in the league, only 2 of them he's gotten over 1,000 yards.
I got you.
with double-digit touchdowns. It's just, it's not wowing to this point. Now, if he has a couple more like that, then yeah, I'll give it to you. Like he definitely should be on somebody's top 5.
One day, we'll get in a little deeper dive. I can get some.
Well, who knows? Maybe after this year, when they're all healthy and they bounce back, you know what I mean? If Stafford's healthy and Kupp's healthy, let's see if they get back to that magic that they had a couple years ago when they made that Super Bowl run. Like,
well, that's all their offense really has is just Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp, honestly. So,
because like I stated with their draft class, it doesn't look like they have anybody ready to be that guy right now. It looks like they're a 2 or 3 year plan right here.
No, they don't really have nothing close. And then you already have reports saying they were trying to trade Matthew Stafford during the offseason. So, got to see how that goes too. So. I just low key think I could see the Rams trading Stafford, Kupp, and Aaron Donald all by next year. I really could. Or Aaron Donald retiring. I can see Matthew Stafford retiring too, honestly.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I think this will be the last ride for Stafford.
Yeah, I think it's the last ride for
his last team.
Rams,
I think if they say, "Hey, we're going to trade you," he's going to be like, "Nah, just let me play it out. I'm going to retire after this season." Yeah. Like, there's no point in trading me because I don't think he wants to uproot his family again, move to another city.
No.
He had it too good with the Lions for so long, and then now he's with the Rams, and I don't see him wanting to do that a third time, being a vet that he is.
No.
Yeah, I agree. Then again, the Commanders can come now.
That'll be another team, you know what I'm saying, that they can get Matthew Stafford, you know what I mean? You never know. Like if he gets an opportunity to be with a team that has potential to make another Super Bowl run, I can see him maybe giving it 1 year, like doing like kind of like a Tom Brady type of thing or something like that.
And then just when they thought the league was safe, Brady returns.
I think you know what team Matthew Stafford should go to?
No.
You know what team Matthew Stafford should go to if he gets traded? I think he should go to the Steelers. I think Steelers would be a perfect fit for them. A power thrower. He has kind of like similar style with like Ben Roethlisberger. He has a powerful arm, runs a little bit. With those receivers, that's another receiving crew. If George Pickens can get a goddamn quarterback, bro, he gonna be nice. I think George Pickens could be nice.
I just think they rotate receivers too often, man, because they had Chase Claypool, and right when you were like, oh, wow, Chase Claypool's looking good, then they trade him also. Like, they have a history in Pittsburgh of just getting rid of people. They did it with Santonio Holmes. They did it with fucking Bryant.
Deontay Johnson, George Pickens. And who did they draft? They drafted a receiver.
They drafted somebody, too.
Oh, no, they traded for Allen Robinson.
Allen Robinson's like, whatever. And they got to get rid of Najee Harris. Najee Harris is buns. He's terrible.
Yeah, that guy. The only way he'll get you production is with mass opportunities.
You gotta give you 30 rushing attempts to get you 80 yards.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You need to give him mass reps.
And he only like 20? How old is he? 25?
Yeah.
26?
Why y'all hating on Najee here? Man, he ain't got no offensive line, man.
Bro, you even said it, bro. You wouldn't even pick backups for Najee Harris, dog.
He ain't got no offensive line, man. Damn.
No one cares, dog. No one cares.
Oh, nobody cares. Okay.
No one cares, bro.
I remember that. I remember this.
Wow.
One of these top
when he gives you 30 for one
of these top running backs don't get their yardage. I don't want to hear nothing about no offensive line.
From what?
From you.
What you mean?
I don't want to hear Josh Jacobs didn't do nothing because our offensive line is trash.
It's your fault.
Look, listen. Like, look, all right, offensive line, all right, cool. But there are running backs that have had no offensive lines and have still produced better numbers. You know what I mean?
No. There's only one that I can know of. Barry Sanders.
Come on, man.
That's the only one that you could give a shit offensive line to, and they still produce like a motherfucker.
You think Adrian Peterson had great offensive lines?
No, he didn't have great, but he had serviceable. He had decent.
No,
you trying to tell me Steelers' offensive line isn't serviceable?
No.
Come on, dog. Are you serious?
He was one of the worst in the league.
Are you serious? All right. Well, what about Bijan Robinson? What about not Bijan Robinson? The dude from the Jets. Their offensive line is terrible. He put up great numbers.
You talking about Breece Hall? You're talking about Breece Hall?
Yeah, he didn't have great numbers. He didn't have great offensive line. He put up great numbers.
How many carries was he getting?
Come on, dog.
How many carries? How many reps was he getting?
That offensive line was actually pretty good. I don't know
what.
Their run defense, their pass defense, bro. I mean, pass blocking was probably.
So now we're getting into specifics now.
That's what we're doing.
That's what we're doing.
Their run blocking.
So why don't you guys get Najee Harris? Y'all need running game. Y'all need a running game.
We got plenty of running backs.
Oh, see, there you go. There you go. He don't want.
We got Isaiah Pacheco.
He trying to protect his ass, but he don't want him on his own team.
No, we don't need him. We got Isaiah Pacheco, Jared McKinnon, and we got the dude.
Isaiah Pacheco hurt.
He's fine. He'll be out.
Oh, he fine. He fine now.
He's running around, jumping around.
So let's say he ain't ready, and they get an opportunity to get Najee Harris. You wouldn't want him?
They're not gonna pick him.
They're not gonna do it.
No.
This is gonna keep Clyde Edwards-Helaire
over. So you want Clyde? You want Edwards-Helaire over?
No,
Najee
I don't.
Harris?
No, I would take Najee over Clyde.
Oh, okay. I was about to say.
I would definitely do it. He's trash. Yeah, he's trash.
We can go over the list. We'll do that. We gotta do that. Show your true colors on Najee Harris. We can go through the list of running backs, and you tell me if you take him over him or not.
We'll do that the next part. All right, fellas, let's go off sports because we always do one off sports topic. Are aliens real?
Isn't that confirmed already?
Well, that's why we're talking about this, man.
Oh,
we already saw the first alien. What's my man's name that froze up on Capitol Hill?
Oh yeah,
Mike McConnell or something.
McConnell.
Yeah. You didn't see that video?
He was just like,
he just froze up. He started talking. He just froze. It's kind of like that white man. You ever remember Men in Black where he had the little man in his head and shit? It's like that. It's kind of like that.
And his lip was all funky. His lip was like,
yeah. He just froze up.
Well, 3 former military officials told Congress on Wednesday that they believe the government knows more about UFOs than they're putting on.
what? That is just fucking retarded to say. Let's just call a fucking spade a spade. What doesn't our government know more of than they're going to lead on?
And they have evidence.
The government is known for keeping secrets from the people. Why? Because if we the people know every fucking thing that the government knows, it's going to cause mass hysteria, a whole bunch of other fucking problems. Of course they're going to keep shit under wraps. We're not going to know everything that our fucking government knows.
So why the hell they tell us about aliens? Where's the evidence? Show me a picture. Show me the UFO. Honestly, I don't think it will cause mass hysteria. I think people will be fucking excited. Here's to be tripping about, man. Like, come on, man. Show me the UFO vehicles, man. Let me see what they pushing. They got spokes on that shit or not?
One of the guys said that there was non-human biologics that were found at a crash site.
So what do y'all think they look like? Do you think they look like ET? Do you think they look like aliens they project, or do you think they look like human beings with like they're just perfect?
I think if you look at Hollywood and you look at all the things that they show us in movies and that eventually come true.
Yeah.
I mean, you could even go back as far as looking at like automated self-driving cars. Right now, we actually have that shit.
Yeah.
Right, but you used to see that all the time in like iRobot and older movies. Right. Mm-hmm. I think that we are being slowly conditioned to know what they look like just by looking at movies. Same thing with all this zombie shit that comes out. And this is a little more on the conspiracy theory side of things, but I think that the more and more that they show us in movies, it's desensitizing us to what reality could actually come. And it's because they've actually seen it and or they have proof that it can happen. Mm-hmm. And that's why they just don't show us blatantly out in the open, but they slowly desensitize us to it through the media and through the movies and entertainment and stuff like that. So
I just think there are also just too many cameras everywhere, so they catch everything that's going on. So, and then with social media and stuff like that stuff gets out hella quick. So I feel like they're just like, look, we can't hide this forever. Let's just go ahead and just tell them like, yo, these are aliens, man. We got some aliens here. They be kicking it. They be chilling. They might be running around here. Whatever.
The cigar together and shit.
You know what I mean? You might have kicked with one or two. It's all good, but you know what I mean. There's nothing to fear. You know what I mean? Their spaceships can go left, right, side to side, up and down, cross-eyed. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, maybe we all came across one. Who knows? What you think? Man, you look a little sus right now. You look like you just like, you like, nah. What if you kicked the one last night? You might have kicked the one at the barbecue.
Jay-Z said it best. We don't believe you. You need more people. Like, come on, man. You mean to tell me these beings have all this technology and they just can't come down and be like, man, we want to see what this Earth life is like. What up, Jamal?
My thing is they flew a billion years away just to crash. So you mean my man can't park? That's crazy, dog. That's crazy, dog. For real.
They always hover. They always,
They never want to come down and say what.
They never want to come down and say what's happening, what's cracking. We got all this technology over here. We can help you.
So would you
or y'all incompetent. We about to take over.
So would you want to meet an alien? Would you want to like talk to an alien? Chop it up.
Not if it looks like the Predator.
Well, of course not, dog.
Or it looks like
bite your head up.
Looks like the aliens.
It's the way some of these girls look pregnant, man. They might be having some alien babies, dog, for real.
You ain't lying.
Yo, their stomachs be huge, dog. I'm like, bro, what are y'all having birth to, dog? That shit's crazy. Their stomachs be so big, bro. It's wild.
Man, you birthing Chewbacca over here. What the fuck?
Grown ass man in the belly, bro. That's crazy.
How long's he been living there, rent free?
I wouldn't be surprised if they look like us.
What would you rather have? Would you rather have?
Well, like Secret Invasion, like Marvel Secret Invasion type shit. They just morph into us.
Yeah.
What would you rather have?
The scrolls.
What would you rather? What would you rather have? An alien invasion or a zombie apocalypse?
Alien invasion.
You might be able to reason with an alien invasion.
Yeah.
A zombie apocalypse, you got no choice but to fucking kill them motherfuckers. Like, because if not, it's kill or be killed. So
I feel it.
It's a more savage world that way.
You think aliens are gonna be reasonable though? They'll look at us like we ain't shit.
How you know?
How you know? They might be dumb.
Hey, we might teach. Hey, you just said it yourself. Stupid. We might teach them some shit about aviation they didn't know, and they could teach us shit about space travel that we didn't know. And we put it together, and now all of a sudden we both traveling galaxies and parking our shit without issue.
We barely can get 2 people to Mars. They gonna take advice from us about aviation, dog.
I'm just saying. Look, hey, when they get in this atmosphere, it's different from space, right? So maybe like we could be like, hey, yo, this is how jet turbines work. This is how propellers work. Cool. Hey, now how does outer space shit work? Show us how to fly through the space a little faster. Let's trade technology.
Where they just go planet to planet?
I'm just saying, bro.
We have to go to the metaverse, man.
You know what I mean?
Which verse?
The metaverse, man.
The metaverse.
You might be able to see a Jamal in a different timeline. You know what I'm saying?
Hopefully he's doing better than me.
Hey, speaking of like multiverses and metaverses and all that kind of shit, Loki season 2 coming out in like December.
Oh, word.
Can't wait for October, I think. October 2nd, I think it drops. Can't wait for that.
I saw the trailer.
Yeah.
Gotta look good. Look whatever. Did you like the first season? You like the first season?
I like the first one.
Yeah. First season was cool.
Yeah.
It can be worse than what some of the Marvel shit that's been dropping, like we talked about, early in this podcast. So.
Marvel's been slipping.
Did they say anything about the writer's strike yet? Is that thing
still close to being done? Nope.
Still going on.
It's about to be dry as hell during the wintertime, boy. Good thing football's going on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Football and basketball, so we should be all right.
Damn.
Yeah, that's all bad, man. All right, fellas. Another good pod. 2 hours.
Yeah, my bad. I talk a lot.
No, it's all good. I anticipated it being this long, so it is all good. Once again, want to thank JD for sliding through. Go ahead and plug, where they can find you out.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Thank you for having me on. Go to YouTube, look up the Midnight Project. You're gonna see me there. You could check on different podcasts that if you like. You could go to Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, all the different podcast units that you go to. You can check me out on there as well, man. Midnight Project, check us out.
For sure, man. Like I said, check out the episode we was on. We had some good conversation, just like this one. We had some good conversation on there, man. So go ahead.
I had them on 2 episodes.
Yeah,
I don't like them. I break my shit up into like multiple episodes, and so I got 2 episodes with these guys on it. Come and check them out.
Yeah, man. Definitely we'll be bringing them back on during the season to talk football and other subject matters. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So, definitely. So consider him a friend of the show. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
JD, friend of the show.
Yes, sir.
That's how we're gonna announce him from now on. So
I appreciate it.
All right, JD, man. Appreciate you coming through, brother.
Yep. Thank you for having me, guys.
Appreciate it.
All right, brother.
All right, man. You know, smoky season out here, boy. Y'all getting a lot of smoke over there
Kind of smoke.
from that fire, dog. You know, we got that fire going on.
What fire?
It's a fire in Cali. It just leaked over to our side now.
I guess. Anyway, if you're a first time listener of the Cris and Mall podcast, know that we are available on all streaming platforms: YouTube, Apple, Spotify, Google, Stitcher, Breaker, whatever you listen to your podcast or watch your podcast on. We are available on there. So always subscribe to the YouTube channel because we need them numbers to run up. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell.
Please.
So when we drop on Wednesdays at 9 a.m., you can see it on your phone. YouTube, it dropped. Bam. Cris and Mall. Yeah, like it.
Subscribe to it.
Leave some comments.
Yeah.
Conversate with us. Because we're trying to build this thing up so we can start doing lives with y'all. Man.
So
we can do live pods with y'all. Hey, it's on and popping.
Yeah, we don't care if y'all talk reckless. We'll talk reckless back. We don't care.
Exactly. So do that. So, in whatever social media platform you use, Cris and Mall is available on all of them: Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and Threads. So follow us on there, man. We'll follow you back. If you got some critiques, feedback, anything like that, hit us up, man, because we always open to hear suggestions because we want to give y'all the best content that we can bring you when it comes to sports or regular stuff. You know what I'm saying? We want to get y'all the best content. So definitely hit us up and interact with us. We'll talk trash with y'all, sports, all that stuff. Shout out to all the Errol Spence fans. We told you that the man was we didn't think it was going to be like this, but we told you anyway.
Yeah. Also, I would like to say, shout out to Bronny, man. I saw he's doing well. Bronny's doing well, so shout out to them. Shout out to Travis. Yo, that album is fucking crazy.
It's pretty good.
You should go listen to it.
I already did.
Oh, you did?
I did. See, judging it.
Okay. Shout out to Cris. He finally listened to some new stuff. All right. Did you listen to it?
Shout out to my man Tech Nine. That's a good.
Oh, how was that album? Was it cool?
It's a good album, man.
Okay.
I'm just saying, when you get some spare, I know you're busy, man. Just give it a little listen.
Travis got the album of the year so far. That's just nice.
It ain't saying much, but I mean, yeah.
He was going good.
It's been bad.
Time to set the clock back to 0.
No, I like Travis Scott. I think I'm more of a fan of his production than his actual raps. Like, I get it. He's got the melodic sound, and I know that's the thing that's in right now. And he does a good job with that. I just think that
you want more substance. Huh?
Sometimes he say some stuff, and then sometimes he don't be saying nothing at all. He just be saying stuff. Right. But I mean, that's a lot of rappers, so I'm not knocking him for that. It sounds good, you know what I'm saying? And the beats are always knocking it. Maybe it's like 3 or 4 songs where I was like, yeah, I'm not feeling like that modern jam crap. I wasn't feeling that.
It was all right. It was cool.
The Beyonce song, nah.
The Beyonce song hit. That's just a little vibe, dog. I like the one with West Side Gun. The one with West Side Gun was fire.
That was good. No, that was good.
The one with Young Thug was fire. The one with Drake was fire. Honestly, I like the tape up and down. You know what I mean? I know a lot of people have been saying like the modern jam one was a little like, but I actually tend to like that one. It's probably like on the bottom tier as far as likes, but I still like it. It's a little jam, jam.
Yeah, for sure, man. So, all right, brother. Until next time, next week. When you go to New York?
So I leave. I'll be gone the first week of the NFL season, but I'll be back, so we can record.
No, okay. All right, for sure, brother. All right, man. Until next time, people. We go.
Peace.